What it do, T Squad? It's your girl Keisha, and I'm here with this week's All Tea All Shade Married at First Sight Season 16 Episode 3 review. I drop videos Monday through Sunday. Everything that I say is for entertainment purposes only, not to be taken seriously. So if that works for you, then let's get into tonight's review. The episode picks up where we left off last week with Jasmine and Eris's wedding. Eris' cousin is trying to talk him out of getting married. She doesn't think that he's ready, but he is adamant. He says that he is ready, and at this point all she can do is tell him to respect her, his wife, as a black woman, and to just be honorable and respectful. There's really nothing else that she can say. I feel like at that point she should have laid off. It's the man's wedding day at this point. If he ain't changed his mind at this point, then just leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? You want to have somebody positive in your corner and not anything negative looming over you. And then I'm just looking at the cousin like, you don't even know how to wear the proper undergarments. You can't tell nobody nothing about life. But anywho, so the wedding begins and he gets up to the altar, and in his confessional, he states how if his bride does not look like how he anticipated or asked for, that he might give his cousin a look like, get me out of here. So he is once again all about the physical, and he's a nice looking dude or whatever. Don't get me wrong. I give him about an 8, as far as looks are concerned, but I really want him to understand that looks aren't everything, and beauty fades and handsome fades at some point. And marriage is about loving somebody through the good and the bad. Your body will change. You will change physically in the face. Anything could happen. So he needs to get up off this appearance thing. But Jasmine comes down. She looks stunningly beautiful as a bride, and he of course likes what he sees, and she likes what she sees. Only discrepancy is that he's a little bit shorter than her. He even points it out. Her dad, come to find out, is a preacher, and for her, divorce isn't really an option. So I'm like, ooh, Lord, don't know how this is gonna go, because they have hooked you up with a playboy. Eris thinks she's so fine, honey, that he started clapping at the altar. I was like, okay, hallelujah, he done got the Holy Ghost. So when they're doing their vows and getting to know each other, his family states that, he isn't really good at communication. It is not his best strength, which is horrible when it comes to relationships, because you do have to communicate, and you cannot just be running or shutting down anytime something goes wrong. They do kiss after saying their vows and getting married. They don't opt to not kiss each other. So there is some sexual chemistry and attraction there. She's 32 years old. He's 39. He's the only child. And let me tell you something, myself raising a boy who is the only child, good luck with that. Cause if Eris is anything like Kyrese, then baby, she is in for a ride of her life. Because let me tell you something, if he's close to his mama the way Kyrese is close to me, and how I have spoiled that boy rotten, then he is going to be expecting his wife to wait on him hand and foot. I have created a monster. Hopefully Eris' mama has not, because good Googa Mooga. Jasmine, whoa. So for him, his thing is he learns that she got 4 dogs. She's a dog walker, and she's breeding 9 puppies. That's nasty. I'm sorry. From a person who does not like animals, I am afraid of dogs. I don't like all that around the house. Pet her and boo boo and gross. And he was not liking that at all. He did not like that at all, to the point he was thinking about even reporting her. Because he don't want to deal with it. And I wouldn't want to deal with it too. Who want all them animals around you all day long? Gross. No, ma'am. So he asks her people, because, they both get a chance to talk to each other's family and friends. And he asks her people, is she a good communicator? And they was like, no. So these just about to be 2 non-communicating MFers. And this is a recipe for disaster. I can just see it. I don't know. Right about now, I don't know if this one gonna last. I'm giving this probably a 4 out of 10 on them lasting right about now. The odds are not in their favor. He even lets her family know that he has never even lived with a woman, nor has he ever been in a serious relationship, which is not really good considering the fact that you just married somebody at first sight. Like, he doesn't even know how to communicate, and then he's never lived with somebody else, a woman. So, the give and take, not being selfish, boundaries, and, how you clean house. Do you clean house? Like, it's so much that goes down when living with somebody else, and him being an only child and probably spoiled rotten. He probably don't do nothing for himself. Ooh, Lord. Ooh, Lord. Ooh, Lord. Ooh, Lord. Ooh, Lord. Ooh, Lord. And then he ain't never even been in a serious relationship, and he was a playboy. So is he going to be able to, like, not flirt, not, go out all the time, not hit on other women? Like, it's so much that is, like, against them than for them. Jasmine then talks to his mom and his hating cousin, and she admits to them that she can be very, very stubborn. She's used to having things her way, and once she get her mind set to something, she feels like that's the way to do it. So that's gonna probably pose a problem between them two. Her cousin seems to feel, though, that she comes from that pageant world, so she has her answers ready and on deck. Like, she's kind of like really suspicious of her and judgy. I will say that she's very, very judgy, the cousin. Like, cousin, please lift them titties up before you want to judge somebody else. But I do feel like the cousin does have cause for wear, because she know her family, and she knows that the cousin heiress been out here, and she doesn't probably feel like he's really serious and understands the commitment that he's committing by marrying somebody. So like I said, I give them a 4 out of 10, child, about them surviving. Then go to Dominique, who is 25 years old, and McKinley, who is 34 years old, wedding. She actually asks for somebody that's older because that's what she tends to normally date. So he was pretty vague on what he's attracted to, so he don't know what bag of tricks is about to appear. And another red flag is the fact that he moved to Nashville with no place to stay, so he's living with his best friend's parents. And you think that you were ready to marry somebody when you don't even have a stable home, sir? Instead of going on a reality show to marry somebody, you need to been finding you a place to stay and getting your life on track. Like, where is your mind at, sir? Like, he is all over the place. It's one thing about being spontaneous. You can be spontaneous all you want on your own, but don't bring me into your spontaneity when you don't know how you gonna even live. Like, what's going on? Like, where we supposed to stay? Like, what's going, like, like, his priorities are all over the place and in the wrong place. So, him and his mama make their way down the aisle, child. And when that mama turned that corner and saw them brown folks sitting on the bride's side, this was her face. I made sure to take a screenshot of that. She was looking like, oh, shit. What have we gotten ourselves into? Oh, my goodness. I don't think that she a racist, but the mama seemed like she was a little weary. Like, oh, Lord, I don't know if we about to get a darkie or what, child. She was nervous, and he looked like he was a little nervous too, child. So, Dominique and her mama come down the aisle, and I must say, Dominique mama looked better than her on her wedding day, child. Her hair was a mess, their dress was a mess, the makeup was a mess, everything was a mess. But I was more so focused on who was sitting next to mama during the wedding, because that white man was fine. I don't know if that was mama man, but hey, boo, my name is Keisha. I'm a Leo, okay? What's good? Because you fine, and I'm single. All right, you come shoot up this club. Ain't no ovaries. Ain't no fallopian tubes. It is all good. So they end up finding each other to be very attractive. They're both really happy with how each other look. They seem like, they're both into like that country lifestyle, because that was one of the things that she was most concerned about, her not getting like a city boy that, you know, was too good for like fishing and stuff like that, because she's really down home when it comes to her lifestyle. Like she isn't really high maintenance. So it seems like they're, you know, bonding with the way that they like to live, maybe their lifestyle. They kiss, you know, the attraction is there. So after the wedding, they go to sit down and get to know one another. And he slipped in there real good and real G code about the fact that he moved to Nashville and staying with his friend's parents. Like he slid that on in there real good, like a baseball player sliding into home, where it went over her head that he just admitted that he living with his best friend mama. I can't wait for that conversation to come back up, child, because he slipped there in there like a true FBI agent. She is none the wiser. He's a slickster, honey, a slickster. So, she ends up talking to his mom and his sister, and, you know, the mother lets her know that, you know, she wanted a traditional wedding for her son, somebody that he knew and courted and got to know. And, you know, she wasn't really down for all this. The sister said she was all for it, because, you know, that's how people used to get married back in the day. Dominique says, you know, I am a woman of color. I am from the South. You know, my biggest thing was, you know, marrying into a family that's going to accept me. Now, the mama was like, oh, no. But yeah, marriage is real hard. Now, I don't know if they cut it like that or if that was her real response, but it wasn't giving me, oh, girl, no, you know, we don't have a racist bone in our body. Like, we accept everybody. I feel like the mama, I don't know if she's necessarily racist, but I feel like the mama would have preferred if he was with a white girl. And I think if she would have been darker, it would have been a problem. If she would have had a coarser texture hair, this would have been a problem. Mama probably would have fainted, child. But since Dominique, you know, is caramel complexion and got, you know, a silky, you know, thread of hair, child, it seems like she might be a little bit more tolerable. But it's something about that mama that gives me, what has my son gotten himself into? And Lord, don't let the baby come out dark. Gina and Clint are at their wedding reception. They're sitting at their little sweetheart table, and he sees that she talks a lot, child, and she talks a lot about her job and everything that she has going on with work. And she even admits that she is a workaholic, and he is an entrepreneur, so he gets it, but he doesn't want their whole conversation getting to know each other to be about work. Like, I understand she got a lot going on. She probably was overwhelmed, and she probably was nervous or whatever, and was sticking to a topic that was safe, but it was a bit much. Like, girl, this is your opportunity to get to know this man. Like, let's talk about something else. And when he talks to her family, they ask him, you know, does he think that they're going to seal the deal that night? And he was like, you know, he was going to be respectful. But he also admitted in his confessional that back in the day, that was what he was all about, was, you know, sexual connections and things of that nature. So it looked like he could be a bit of a horn dog, you know what I'm saying? And based off that trailer for this season, child, it seems like he is going to be DICK head. He seems like he is going to be a butthole, and I don't know how I'm gonna feel about him. He was already giving me Scooby-Doo vibes with the way that he looked. He was a little bit too scruffy looking for me. The hair and the beard was just not doing it. And for me, honestly, Gina was a little bit too pretty for him. As far as physical, I felt like she was gorgeous, and he was giving me Richard Branson vibes. That man that owned that's been sending everybody to space. That man. Virgin Airline man. Yeah, that's what he was giving me as far as aesthetics. Like, hey dude, like, no. As far as they're concerned, I give them a 2 out of 10 as far as survival rates. And to go back to Dominique and McKinley, as far as survival for them, I give them about a good 6 out of 10 right now. Over at Kirsten, was it Kirsten or whatever the fuck, Kirsten and Shaquille's reception, they're actually getting along. They're vibing. They have a lot in common. They wasn't feeling the food. They was laughing and talking with one another, but it was giving me more bestie vibes than romantic vibes. I know last week I was begging the question, is Shaquille, a tambourine player or not? Because that's what I was seeing on Twitter. Mind you, I didn't get a chance to watch the first episode. But after watching tonight's episode, I don't think that he a tambourine player at all. I think that he is just a good old down south Christian man who was raised by probably women and knows how to respect women and, respect their boundaries. I just think he's a good Christian man. I don't think that there's anything tambourine-ish about him. He's very attractive. He seems like he's very, sweet and charming, and he do look like he got a, a actual, vibe to him. Like he know how to roll that torso when it's time. You know what I'm saying? I like him. I like him a lot. I really honestly do. But I don't think she likes him in that way. I think, like I said, they give me more bestie vibes, like where they would be like really cool with one another. She says that she was bothered that he didn't kiss her, but I'm like, girl, you gave him your cheek. So what did you expect for him to do? That makes no sense. And he felt like she was holding back and that there was a reason why she wasn't ready to kiss. So he talks to her family and he tells them that, he's almost done with school. He's working his job and, he got that part of his life together. But when he comes home at night, he's alone, and he wanted a wife and he prayed on it. And God gave him, discernment over the situation. But they are not sold. They feel like he's a good talker, but he needs to be able to walk the walk. So, baby, at their reception, and he got the grinding on her, I was like, let me find out he worked for Madam on All the Queen's Men. Because like I said, he knew how to roll and gyrate and all that. He was trying to let her know, like, ain't nothing zesty about me, darling. Okay, don't get it twisted, doll. But she seemed like she was kind of low-key into it a little bit, but it made me blush, child. I was sitting over here with my mouth wide open, like, is this really happening? Is this really happening, Jesus? Oh, Lord. So after that, he sits down and talks to his people, and then she's in the restroom talking to her people, and his people basically telling him don't get friend zone. Like, it's okay to be chivalrous and to be respectful, but you gotta assert yourself and let her know at the end of the day, I'm your husband, I'm your man. And she ends up talking to her people. She tells them that the reason why she turned her head when it came time to kiss him at the altar was because he was bald and because she wanted him to ask her for a kiss. But I'm like, darling, how can he ask you for a kiss if you'd already turned your head, giving him the sign that that was not something that you wanted or was comfortable with? Make it make sense. You sound crazy. Okay. Now the bald thing, okay, that's a preference of yours. That's something that you're not into. But that whole you wanted him to ask, girl, be quiet. And then when her friends and them ask, well, if he does ask, would you kiss him? She says, I don't know. Girl, okay, now you irking me. You're getting on my nerves. But she did say that she's growing to like him based off, the conversations that she's had with him. It has made her, get a little bit more comfortable with him. As of right now, as far as their marriage is concerned, I give them about a good 6 out of 10. I think if she allows herself to open up to the process, that they could really be something. Or I feel like if they don't work as a couple, they'll be great friends. Honestly, after watching the after show, I only watched maybe the first 10 minutes of it before I started filming. But after watching the after show, I firmly feel like Shaquille and Jasmine is more suited for each other than him and Kristen or whatever her name is. They both come from the same, religious backgrounds and stuff, growing up in the church. So I feel like they might have been a lot better paired for each other, suited for each other. But I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. At Nicole and Chris's reception, they both are some chatty patties, child. They just talk, where it's getting to the point where they feel like, will we be able to communicate with each other? Because we both try to get a word in edgewise. She tells her people, though, that she thinks he might be too nice to the point where he won't like accept her trying to take care of him. So she really wants to make sure that she puts the effort into letting him know that he is taken care of as well. And I also feel like that was a nice way of her saying she think he might be a pushover. But she got crazy people eyes. I'm sorry. Her eyes, they just give me crazy people vibes. I don't know about that one. Her dad, however, interrogates the hell out of him, child, and I didn't blame him because he was like, "Are you a serial, iller? Are you crazy? Like, what's going on? Do you have a record?" Like, the daddy was getting in there, and I was like, "You better ask the questions, daddy. You better ask them." So his friends and family asked him, does he anticipate sex? And he was like, no, not really. I don't really see that happening. And she tells her people that, she doesn't want to lead with that. She wants to get to know him. Like, that will come when it comes. But right now, she really just wants to get to know him as a person and really see what he's about. And I don't blame her. I really don't. I feel like it's best that they take their time with one another. As far as their relationship goes, as of right now, I give them about a good 7.5 out of 10. I think that they'll be able to work through some things. They're probably going to have some challenges, but I think that they'll be able to work through it despite her and her crazy Barbie doll eyes. Overall, I'll give tonight's episode of Ready to Love a C+. It was cute. It was a little dragged on towards like the last 30 minutes. I felt like they could have cut some of that reception and got straight to the honeymoon. But, once we get to this honeymoon, child, that's when things is really about to heat up, and I'm excited about it. Let me know what y'all thinking about all of these couples. What do you give their survival rate 1 out of 10? Let's talk about it in the comment section. Who is your favorite couple? Who is your least favorite couple? As of right now, I would say my favorite couple out of them all is Shaquille and Kirsten or whatever. My least favorite couple out of everybody will be Nicole and, is that Nicole and Clint? Yeah, Nicole and Chris. It's her eyes. They're scary. And then look at him. He look all weird and stuff in his picture. They just look like they'll be on First 48. I don't know. It's like a Netflix documentary be about them. Y'all let me know down below in the comment section. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. I love you, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.